All right, I'm going to call this meeting of the Douglas Historical Commission to order on February 28th, 2025 at 9:06 a.m. This meeting is taking place at the Resource Room at the Douglas Municipal Center. Present at today's meeting is Rebecca Doyen-LaValle.
Dawn Fontaine.
Sarah Guy.
Christy Turgeon.
And Scott Garland is absent after letting me know yesterday. Dawn provided us all with the agenda for today's meeting. Are there any objections to the agenda? Amendments? As far as amendments, there is some administrative stuff that we really need to go over before we can actually hit the rest of the agenda after the minutes are approved from last meeting. So could I get a motion to talk about administrative stuff first?
So moved.
Seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you. Any other issues with the agenda?
No. Do we want to approve the minutes first? Or no?
No, agenda.
Okay.
All right. So can somebody move to approve the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda.
Seconded?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right. Also, we have the minutes from the January 17th meeting. Hopefully, everyone's had a chance to review them. If not, we can take a minute to look at them.
Very wordy. Wrote this.
We had a big meeting.
The meeting minutes are good as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
They look good to me.
So, motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the January
January.
17th meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. All right, let's move on to all of the fun. Okay, first, Scott. In the packet I gave everybody, you will see an email from him that I received yesterday morning. He is requesting a 3-month leave of absence until May 31st. I contacted the town because I wasn't quite sure whether or not that would be allowed and how it's handled. It's actually not in any of the rules and regulations books. Lisa says that as long as we all approve of it, it is allowed. If it goes past the date of May 31st, then we would need to review everything, and it would go in front of the Board of Selectmen on whether or not to remove him from the board.
Okay.
So does anybody have any thoughts before we make a vote or anything like that?
Well, it's just in relation to having a quorum and having, we've got a lot of a lot of tasks to do. And I was thinking that we were going to get heavily into it in the next short term, but I think the roles are for 3 years, is that right?
Yes, and unfortunately, we haven't had an updated town report, so I'm not quite sure what his term is.
Yeah, like if he's,
If he's for the 3 year, the 1 year, when he actually expires. Unfortunately, I'm unsure of that.
okay. And then to have a quorum, we would need,
We need 3 for a quorum.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, I have your reappointment, my reappointment, and Christie's. I do not have Scott's.
When is Christie's? Or when are they all?
Okay, Christie was a 3-year.
Okay.
I'm a 3-year.
I think they're all 3-year, right, but one?
Okay, so I'm through 2026. Christie's through 2027. You're through 2027. Let me see if I can pull up the most recent annual report that the town does have to see if I can find out possible numbers.
Yeah, because there was another member who, when we were first, do you want to go first, Christine?
No, go
Okay,
ahead.
there was another member who was interested, but then there was, I don't know, like a message missed about when we were inviting people to come in who had been interested last year. But
Scott and I accepted our appointment
At the
pretty
same
much
time.
at the same time.
But I think what happens is
It's different,
it
different
staggers,
terms.
it staggers on purpose
okay.
because we don't want everyone to be gone at the same time.
Okay, so
So we're not quite sure who will.
I was 2023, so this is the 2022 annual report, okay?
Okay,
So I was 2023, and now I'm 2026.
okay,
You were 2024, and now you are 2027.
okay,
Sarah was 2023, so now Sarah's 2026.
okay.
David and Betsy were both 2025.
Okay.
But that's interesting.
So
That would have put them at 2028, so I'm wondering if when they did 3-year appointments, they're doing it as the first year you're appointed,
yeah.
right? Because that would make it, you were appointed in 2024, so that would be till 2027.
Yeah, so unless Scott had like a 2-year or something, I don't know, it's still a while.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I guess 3 months isn't that long. It's just whether we can keep a quorum going, like,
Yeah.
if we can have enough members at each meeting.
Are you at risk for leaving town, Sarah? Or you don't?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
So, not at the moment.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I plan to be here for at least a bit longer. Yeah, stuff got delayed with the house. So it's
Okay.
like,
Okay.
that's a whole nother ball of wax.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I know, I wish there wasn't the rule about being in town, too.
Right. Yep.
This would be the 3rd meeting that he has missed.
Oh.
The other 2 were excused.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's only
we
3
did-
unexcused and.
Yes, we did know in advance that he was going to miss them. I am just saying that this is, so like I said, it's our decision as a commission. I mean, we can always give the 3 months and then review it the time, depending on if he
Yeah.
comes back. He has not completed his task for the the architectural narrative. I can go ahead and do that. It won't take me too long. But that's where we're at, so.
Yeah, well, one of the things we talked about last time that we were going to schedule was that long working session. So I was hoping to do that before May.
I mean, at this point, I think we do things as we would normally. He's asked for a leave of absence. Unfortunately, a leave of absence means your opinion is not heard. I don't think we put things on hold because of the
Right.
leave of absence.
Right.
Right, I guess I just meant like that's
One
dividing the work
less,
by
yeah.
4 instead of
Yeah.
5. But if people are okay with that, maybe we should vote I don't know what we're exactly voting, what the question.
Whether, the question is whether or not we grant the leave of absence or if we ask him to resign and we find a new member.
Yeah, because it's not like we have someone, we do have someone who is definitely interested, but I don't know, I get a chance to ask him, like what the answer would be.
And I don't know if finding somebody would take us
3
longer
months,
than 3
yeah.
months, and in that case,
Are we going to be in this position in 3 months?
that's true. That's another
What do you mean,
possibility.
like he'd not
Like
show-
if he decides not to
Like
come
if
back
if
after
he
the-
still has that work?
Yeah, right.
All considerations.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I guess,
Do we want to table this to the end of the meeting to give people a little bit of time to think on it?
Sure.
Sure.
We'll need to make a decision before we leave.
okay.
Fair.
Tabled.
And mull it over.
I just, it's a big question. Like,
Yeah.
we're,
Yeah.
okay. Now for the fun one.
Just Fields?
No.
No, sorry, other new business.
Yes. So, one of the things about being a very small commission and not meeting on a regular basis is we do things in a very lax manner. Unfortunately, our lax manner happens to sometimes possibly put us in violation with open meeting law.
Okay.
Silly stuff. I'm going to use, okay, so we recently had the package store come up as a question for us. Now, I asked that everybody not reply all and reply to me directly. If somebody had replied all, we would have been in violation of open meeting law because we are now discussing something in a quorum. Because a quorum is more than 2 members. It's 3 members discussing something involving a decision. A meeting is generally defined as a deliberation by a public body with respect to any matter within the body's jurisdiction. And the second 3 or more of us discuss that, we are in an open meeting. Open meetings have to be available to the public. Well, the second you're in an email, you are no longer available to the public.
Okay.
So that kind of plays with how we can discuss things in emails. So Dawn and I met with the town to figure out what can we and what can't we do over email. So the yellow sheets, the open meeting law one, on the second page, what does this mean for us? What is allowed and what isn't allowed? Social meeting rules. If there are 3 of us hanging out in a social setting, we cannot discuss anything to do with the historical commission.
Okay.
Like, if 3 of us end up at the library, we cannot mention one thing to do with the historical commission.
Okay.
We end up being in violation.
Okay.
Okay.
If we were to go through an on-site inspection or a walkthrough, like the time we went to the grammar school
Yeah.
or the center school, we can look, we could ask a question, We cannot discuss anything we see during that meeting unless it is being recorded,
Okay,
because then we are no longer in an open meeting,
okay.
because it is not
Okay.
available to the public.
So
No, I think what it comes, sorry, go ahead.
so we can ask questions, but we can't,
Like,
I think what it comes down to is like, there's no, like, the town should have the right to deliberate and ask us questions. You know, if we're
Yeah.
making a decision for the town and discussing and deliberating it, like, we want that to be available to anyone to either see or participate in the meeting.
like,
Okay.
let's say we saw something, we said, we said to Adam, what is that? Or is there asbestos here? You know, we could ask that, but when he answered, we couldn't then be like to each other, okay, so there's asbestos, so we couldn't do this, or that. That
Yeah.
wouldn't be allowed. All we
Okay.
could do would be like,
accept the answer and move on.
accept the answer and move on. Maybe a follow-up question, but
Yeah, but if they recorded it, that would be okay?
because it's no different than us being recorded right now.
Yeah, okay.
Fair.
It's one of those, okay, emails, we've been given a little bit of leeway. Okay. What emails are allowed to be done amongst all of us? Scheduling a meeting.
That's fine.
Dawn can send an email saying, does this meeting time work for everybody? Yes, yes, nope, doesn't work, can we do this? That's fine. No other conversation outside of meeting times is allowed in those emails.
Okay.
Meeting agenda. An agenda may be distributed. Items to be added to an agenda may be requested.
Okay.
Items on the agenda may not be discussed.
Okay.
Meeting minutes may be distributed. You cannot reply all about anything in those minutes.
Okay.
So let's say there was an error in those minutes, you can't reply all to let Dawn know there was an error.
Okay,
Oh,
so
can't
you
do
would
that.
maybe send a text message.
Just to, no, just to one-on-one.
You could,
I mean.
you could reply to Dawn alone.
Okay.
But you can't reply all, even if it's a spelling error. It's crazy, but the
Okay.
second
Yep.
you reply all, it opens things up.
Yeah. So, yeah, so one-on-one is okay for things like, anything other than deliberation.
Reports and documents. Informational content may be sent for review by individuals before a meeting. An example, Sarah had done the information on Soldiers Field. She could send that to everybody and say, here is what I am bringing to the table for discussion.
Okay.
She's saying, this is what I'm bringing, here's for everybody to review before the meeting. Nothing else can be said or done.
Okay.
Once we're at the table, we can discuss it, but it cannot be discussed in advance.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just thinking about it in that way, like, you know, we can schedule meetings, we can say are people free, but then once you start having a discussion, just, no,
Okay, so
save it for the meeting.
I am allowed to send all information to the commission, request for individual feedback to the commission, such as the property question that I did with the liquor store. Now, let's say somebody came back and they said that they had an issue with that. I then would have then sent out another send all to everybody. This concern has been brought to the table. Is there any other feedback? And if I got any more feedback, it would have been tabled to this meeting.
Okay.
But it can, when somebody replies, they can only reply to me.
Who sent it? Yeah. Okay.
Dawn is allowed to send all scheduling questions, agenda, minutes. I didn't know how else to call what we do. We tend to have homework.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to call it. I'm sorry.
Homework's fine.
And we use the shared Google Drive a lot. There tends to be a lot of procedural questions that come up when we're doing this. And this is something Dawn and I particularly had for the town. We're like, how do we handle this? Because we
Yeah.
do a lot of emails about these procedural questions. What they said to us is we are allowed to send emails if it's just a procedural question. Reply all emails like, hey, I'm trying to do the document. Are we supposed to?
Link,
Are we supposed, yeah, what's the link? are we putting this information in or are we putting that information in?
Okay.
Do you,
And so that could be replied all, so
Yes.
that everybody could
Yeah.
know how to do it.
Right.
But we just can't discuss like the individual property.
Information in the.
Right.
yeah.
It's more like,
Okay.
how am I handling this document?
Yeah.
Or where can I find this? Or how are we doing this?
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What does come up, which we ended up falling into, and I don't think we end up with these questions often.
Right.
Are the building questions. And of course, didn't this pop up right as we're getting, like, right in between all of this?
Yeah.
So I'm always going to call it Dave's Package Store. Sorry, that's what I grew up calling it. The Village Package Store pops up. Now, was not sure how to handle it. I'm like, I'm just going to send the one email. We'll see how people respond. In the future, if we do not have an upcoming meeting and we have a property pop up like this, how do we want to handle it? I have a couple of thoughts.
Okay.
We do the first thing where I send an email. Does anybody have any objections, any thoughts? See what people come back to me with. If I get a all clear, all clear, all clear, all clear, no questions asked, we go ahead, let the town know there's no problems. If it comes up that there is a problem, and somebody's like, I don't like this, I have questions, concerns, we either try and schedule an in-person meeting, which can sometimes become complicated based on all of our schedules, or we could even try and do a Zoom meeting, which might make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about that as a possibility? We don't get them often. I want to say since I've been here, maybe 5 buildings.
Right, right. Yeah, they don't come up often. And so if we have a meeting coming up, say, within the month, or within the time frame that they need a decision, then we can do it, then we can let them know we're going to add it
Address
to
it
the
as-
agenda as new business.
Or I can even ask, like, how soon do you need an answer on this? We have a meeting in this time.
Because usually we at least have at least like a half a month.
Yeah.
You know, kind of when we're going to next be meeting. And I like the idea of doing the Zoom, because then we can even do it at like 8 o'clock at night or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or-
And like I said, I'm thinking it's more like if it's a property we have a problem with. I think if it's just because I mean, David always.
Right.
David always originally just sent it the initial email, like, here's the property, and everybody's like, yep, not a problem.
That to me really feels like it's crossing a line, like it feels like a deliberation. We're deciding whether a building, is torn down or something like that, and then that just feels like a deliberation. It feels like we should have it on some kind of an agenda,
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, we
it's a
could
big
always,
decision.
I don't think they come up too often, so like, we could always just post a meeting, like if
Yeah.
something did come up, like depending on how urgent it is, or put it on the next agenda if it's not urgent.
Right, right. What do you call, is there like, it's like an emergent, what do they call that? Like if you just kind of schedule it quickly, and you still have to
It
have that
still has to be
48
the 48 hours.
48, you still
Yeah,
need the
yeah.
48 hours.
But Saturdays count,
Saturdays, but not Sundays.
right, or holidays.
Okay. All right, that's, 48 hours. I mean, if someone's saying, I've got a wrecking ball here right now.
Well, they can't.
Right, right, yeah.
So that one was middle of March.
Right. So, yeah,
So-
so I think maybe we need to do a little vote on that one, so,
And I think it's fine, like, if you get notified that something is going on, to like send it out and let us all know, maybe then we should just post a meeting to respond.
Do we want to just, okay, I guess the question is let's say it comes across my desk and we don't have something planned. Do we just want to plan for a Zoom meeting within the week?
Like
Yes.
48 hour?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
We can do that.
I mean, I think the Zoom meeting still has to be posted and. still has to be set up,
It's
so-
still an
yeah.
official
but within the
meeting.
week would give us
Right.
enough time for
Yeah.
that 2-day.
Yep.
And it gives us enough time also for like everybody to be like, okay, this is what I've got available for
Yeah.
Zoom time.
And I could even text everybody and ask that way, that might be more succinct.
Oh,
Well, I just mean people might respond quicker to
Oh.
a text for an emergency meeting.
I said, I don't know that's necessary, but more like just to get it, but I think that's kind of,
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that if a property comes up that needs the Historical Commission's review, that we attempt to determine the deadline that they need a decision on. Option one would be to add it to our next agenda, but if that's not within the time frame, then we schedule a Zoom call within about a week. And so that's my motion. We need to second the motion.
I will second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion passed.
So with, I don't know which order you want to go in, because we do have that new business on, want to do it at the end about that property. We still need to vote on that property, the package store.
Do you want me to, we can just put it in right now?
Yeah.
We can move that up into the administrative.
One thing we could add, like, just because like this thing with Scott's email came up so soon, they do have, like, you can add to the agenda topics not reasonably anticipated 24 hours in advance.
We're actually putting, I actually had talked to Dawn, we're going to put administrative at the
Oh,
very
okay.
top of,
worded it,
at the
yeah,
very top of, at the very top of the agenda. For when this kind of stuff pops up,
Yeah.
I can just kind
Right.
of,
Yeah, I mean, you could put it under that, but I know other boards put like 20, topics not anticipated 24 hours in advance of the meeting. Like, just in
Okay.
case something, or 48 hours
48
in
hours.
advance, yeah. That way, if something like pops up a couple days before and you're like, I gotta get it on there.
Do they
you
just
know?
leave that
They
regularly?
leave it on like all the time, so it's
okay.
usually like just something they put on like the end of every agenda. So like
Okay.
if something happened to,
well, the problem also
Crop
is
up.
Dawn submits the agenda when she submits the meeting.
yeah,
So the
It's
agenda,
usually way,
the agenda's submitted almost a month
Right.
in advance, and then this all happens well after the
Yeah.
agenda's been
it's
submitted.
good to have that little, fail-safe of a 48-hour.
Yeah, so that way we're not like,
Not
at the
anticipated
beginning of the meeting, we need to,
Right.
we need to do all of this.
yeah,
Okay, so let me
we
go,
could do both. Okay.
bear with me, I'm going to. So on February 19th, 2025, I received an email from Lisa Freeman that she was reaching out regarding 392 Northeast Main Street, also known as Douglas Village Package Store. The building commissioner currently has a demo application on his desk for the property and wanted to see if there was any historical value or pictures that would need to be taken before he signs off on the application for demolition.
I'm sorry, the building
Commissioner.
commissioner has a demo. Okay. And you shared, can you show that again?
I shared the,
I forget the age.
yep. I shared the assessment card, which comes from the assessor's site, and I also shared the MACRIS document. The building was built in 1860 as a single-family dwelling house with the option of kind of a store. I don't believe that was how it was originally built. I believe it transferred into that usage.
So pre-Civil War, or no, pre, right before.
Vernacular side gabled house with centered front doorway surrounded by enclosed front porch. Shed dormer has been added in front and brick-faced L to the right. Last serves as a store. Despite the siding and dormer, in general, this house retains the lines of 19th century origin. House appears to have been built by Warren Thayer in the mid-19th century. Later owned by John Andrews, James Wickstead, then Stanley Janton, who died in '43. Janton's widow, Mary, married John Kurash, and they opened a store there.
Okay.
I can tell you, 80s on, Dave, I'm blanking on his last name, opened the Douglas Village package. It was a package store / that's where you got your VHSs on Friday night. He sold it within the last 5 to 7 years.
I don't even
accurate-
think it's been that long.
How accurate am I? 2017.
Oh my gosh, has it been that long?
Winowski.
So that abuts my house.
Okay.
Oh, it does?
Yes, and the whole garage is like falling down
Yep.
into my yard.
Yeah.
So Dave Winowski, that's who it was.
Yeah.
So like I said, they sold it that long ago.
So I don't hear anything what you're reading, it's old, but I don't hear
It's-
anything what you're reading that's particularly like
I
important.
saw no historical value. Honestly, my biggest thing, it's nostalgic value. Like,
Yeah.
for me, it's nostalgia, like going there. That's where the value is for me.
I was at I don't remember how long ago it was actually a while ago, when they had the meeting to discuss like the state of the building and where they were saying, you know, it's structurally unsound. so
The
that's-
floors, when you walk in
That's
there, you
why.
can tell, they're
Yeah.
like,
So that was why they had said there was
Okay.
concerns with the structural
Yeah.
integrity.
Well, I mean, okay, so.
Probably
and the
with
roof,
garage as
the
well.
roof is like caving in and falling into
Well,
my
okay,
yard.
So here's the thing, like, I've gotten a 30-pack of beer, I've gotten a 36-pack of beer. They're heavy.
Right.
So you imagine, like, I've gone into the back cooler, and you just imagine all those 30 and 36 packs. It's like, okay, if you
It's a
think
lot of
about,
weight.
the library was built very specifically to maintain the weight of the library. If you actually go up into the attic, you see the way the steel bars and everything are. It's made to maintain the weight. This is a house.
Yeah.
Right.
It was not made to maintain the weight of a 30-pack of 12-ounce cans.
Right.
Right, over and
Yeah.
over again.
Because like, when it was built, the building codes didn't exist, and so they weren't concerned with like the 2-foot centers or whatever it was they
Yeah,
called it.
it
So
is very tight in
The floor
there, yeah.
joists aren't like spaced correctly to hold that kind of weight.
So do we know, are they
So-
they're planning to demo it and then build a new?
They're planning to demo the building and the garage. They're gonna tear down the fence, put a new fence, and then they're gonna put one building kind of parallel to where the garage is.
Okay.
And then the parking lot will be on this side where the building is now.
Oh,
And it will stay a liquor store.
It'll be a liquor store, and I think they're trying to do 2 apartments above the liquor store.
okay, and I assume, hopefully it's a tasteful building. We don't know what's going
Yeah,
in.
I didn't hear
I
anything
believe
about
there
what-
was a lot of deliberation about that. I came to the initial town meeting.
Yeah,
I think personally, having a property that abuts it, it is going to look a lot better
Yeah, no
than what
one's-
is there now.
yeah, right. Imagine.
Yes, it's going to also be, they're going to like level everything to
Yeah,
fix drainage issues that occur right now.
And the thing is, I mean, the town doesn't want to lose a liquor license, because the thing is, that becomes a
that brings
factor.
revenue, yeah.
Well, that becomes a factor, because when Diggers closed, they sold their liquor license to Ray at the Family Convenience,
Okay,
because Ray only had a beer and wine license.
Okay.
I know there's some kind of rules and regulations with liquor licenses in towns, and they're very careful about.
yeah, where they go. So basically, if they weren't able to demo and rebuild, they would have to, they can't function there forever like this. So,
Not safely.
yeah,
No.
Right.
right.
I mean, like I said, as far as historic value, other than an old building, there is really, I mean, it was built by a Thayer. Lots of houses in town were built by Thayers.
Yeah,
Wickstead lived there. Wickstead's lived in quite a few houses,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean?
yeah. Okay, so I wonder, just for the sake of being like totally above board, that maybe Christie just doesn't vote because we'd still have a quorum?
Yeah, and it's a conflict of interest.
Yes.
Yeah, conflict of interest, but I'm not 100% sure it is, but I think we still have a quorum with the 3 of us,
Yeah.
so we could
Yeah.
vote. So I'm going to make a motion to decide whether we allow the demo to proceed at 392 Northeast Main Street. I need a second.
That's a motion to approve, right?
First, that's the
Or
motion.
just to decide?
That's the motion to,
No, to approve.
To approve, okay. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed
and
to,
Christie is abstaining.
yep.
Okay. Okay. So next, so do you need to just answer that email?
I had, because I had already sent it to her because everybody had kind of said no problems at that point in time.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't really figured out how we were doing things then. But
Okay.
at least now we have it official.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Is there any more administrative? My good, one more document here, I see.
That was more like how that was more informational. This is kind of just,
This is what we turned in a couple months ago, right? The
yeah,
annual report.
that was the annual report, so everybody could see what was actually sent in. So much stuff here, sorry, bear with me one sec. There was questions about whether, so the booklets that you two have, Dawn and I had already gotten them. That is that is exactly what the town open meeting law is.
Okay.
And then it's what the state open meeting law, the official open meeting law rules are. You can also get them online. You can probably, I'd say, glance through the towns. The state is dry. If you have any questions, go online, search for the question you have, pull it up type thing. I think Dawn and I pretty much highlighted the ones that really mattered to us
Okay.
and where we were finding that we were having problems. I said, we just need to be a little bit more aware. It's tough for us, 'cause like I said, we're a small commission that don't meet on a regular basis, so we tend to be a little bit more,
We have been meeting more
Lax.
often, though.
Yeah.
I think it's,
we tend to be a little bit more lax, so we just have to be a little bit more aware
Okay.
of things. The big thing is, like I said, we're really wanting to pass, those are the ones from your last meeting, the ones that were,
Oh, okay, I was like,
we're trying to get something pretty big passed, hopefully sometime in the near future, so we don't want anybody coming back and saying we're violating things to
Right.
keep us from getting anything passed.
Perfect.
Let's keep our noses clean so that nobody has a reason to pick on us.
so do we have one of those for Scott, too? I'm not sure.
Yes, I've got it. I didn't bother bringing it.
Yeah, right.
It's at the
So
library.
just whenever he's there next, we'll give it to him.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So,
Piece of paper back here. I guess it's in here, but I can't.
so now that we're
Oh,
done.
sorry, that's okay.
Oh, yeah, I've got another small. So now that we're done with all the fun stuff, yesterday I sent an email, let's go forward with the agenda. When I sent this email to Scott saying that we needed to vote on everything, I also requested that he send us any information he had on the plaque, because he was the one that was supposed to be looking into the plaque. I have not yet heard from him.
Okay.
Did he send any of that information on to anybody, or was he just,
I never saw
didn't receive
anything.
anything, no.
okay?
So there's no reason that he can't share that information, at least one-on-one.
Right.
Yeah, and then we discussed it at a subsequent meeting amongst the quorum who's here. But I'm guessing, based on the email, he's been busy and hasn't
Well,
performed his duties.
but he was doing it earlier, so
Yeah.
it's just a question of whether or not,
Well, maybe just you could reach out to him and.
well, I.
Just wait for
I-
the response.
Yeah, and then
He was looking for pricing, right?
pricing, but we had also gone back and forth on what type of plaque we had wanted to do, and we were going to meet with the Recreation Committee, because I still think I still really think we don't go with the bronze plaque. I think we go with like
Something printed with more.
something that we can put on the concession stand that's got all of, that really gives the history.
That can have everything, rather than just,
Right.
A plaque.
yeah.
That everybody's going to walk by and be like, oh, that's nice.
I
Yeah.
like that, right?
I
Like,
think it's-
it's like walking through a trail, and then it's like, this bird is here, and it's all this
Yeah.
information, I think that is something,
Yeah, and I'm sure they've got them where it's going to last more than a year, it's
Yeah,
going to be
and-
legible for X.
And the thing is, you can always put a poly over it, that if somebody decides to graffiti sticker it, you can always change the poly out without it costing an arm and a leg.
Yeah, okay.
So Sarah, did the rec
was one big
committee?
So the last email was, I let the chairman know that that the majority of our members could meet on Tuesdays, 5:30, anytime in March, with the exception of 325. And I also said we had a member not available on the 18th, so I suggested a Tuesday early in March. But
And nothing.
Just like,
I haven't, yeah, he did not reply to that one. So.
Okay.
We kind of said, a Tuesday in March at 5:30 was probably going to be best, and that seemed to work for the rec commission as well.
do we maybe just
But-
want to reach out and now, well, we can still do March if they
Yeah.
can, but if not, maybe we just extend that into April.
Sure, yeah, I'll send him a message and see, what date is going to work, a Tuesday at 5:30.
Okay, so,
Because I know their board, they also have members that serve on other boards that have Tuesday night
Like a
meetings
7
later,
o'clock.
so yeah. So
because
they,
those still work for me, just that week that I'm gone in late March.
okay, so March is 18th and 25th are no-goes.
okay, right.
I'm 18th, Dawn's 25th, because Jed's in Plano again. No, seriously, this is now going to be 4 out of 7 weeks.
Yikes.
I love my child, but our life is very hectic. And then it looks like April, the only one I'm questionable is 15th.
4/15, tax day. Okay. Yeah, and so right now I can do any of the Tuesdays.
Okay, so should I say, I mean, we kind of almost are in early March,
Oh,
but
yeah.
should I say we're available either early March or in April on a Tuesday, aside from the 15th?
Yeah,
and the
so
20,
let's-
I'm not available on April 22nd.
Okay.
Okay.
It always seems like those two middle weeks are,
Why don't we just instead give them a few dates?
Okay,
So
sure.
Then we'll say, let me just see, so February, if, we can't get it together for this Tuesday, there's not enough of
Right.
a time,
Right.
but Tuesday, the,
11th?
is it the 11th?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 11th of March, not the 18th, not the 25th, the 1st of April, the 8th of April. Well, that's 3 dates. Do we need to give them more? We could go into the 29th if we had to. And that's it, and then,
I'll say, okay. I'll give them that, and then I'll just say at 5:30.
yeah, and they're doing the agenda, right, and just inviting us?
I believe
Well,
so.
we think so, but we'll
Yeah,
confirm.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just say, just reaching out about a date for our joint meeting. How does Tuesday, March 11th, the 1st of April, 8th of April, or the 29th at 5:30 work?
And you have March 11th on there too? Or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. March 11th, 1st of April, 8th of April, or the 29th
Okay.
at 5:30.
Okay, that sounds good. Does anyone use Calendly?
I don't. I use Google Calendar.
So there's, you can sign up for free, and so if we ever want, I don't know, maybe it's a little too high-tech for us all to have it, but, so basically I can just share this link with you, and you can see when I'm free. It doesn't show you all what my meetings are and everything, but it just says I can book with Dawn on,
Oh.
you know. So then if we had that for everybody, it would be a way to
Yeah.
be able to see when people are free, but you'd have to sign, you know, I wouldn't mind going through that if we wanted to.
Calendly?
Calendly, like, how do you spell it?
I've never used that one. Can it like hook up to your Google Calendar?
Yeah, because that's like the big thing,
okay.
because like,
Yeah,
But
right.
hook up to your Google Calendar, which
My
is what
Google
I
Calendar
use.
knows what I'm doing, I don't.
Yeah.
oh, it's so, like, between my Google Calendar, my work Google Calendar, then the library's Google Calendar, like, oh my God,
It's a lot of Google
This is what my work Google Calendar looks like.
All colored like mine.
Can we talk about the anxiety my calendar gives me?
I wish I had a calendar so organized.
I know, right?
I have a paper calendar that I write things on.
Really?
I-
It's mine all in colors.
I tried to do the paper calendar,
That's on my computer.
but my problem is I'm a very anal retentive person. If I make one little mistake, it sends me over the edge and I have to start all over again. So like, the book calendars never do me any good because I'll make a
It's too many
mistake
changes.
and it'll send me, yeah, so I ended up having to go electronic because I can fix mistakes.
Yeah.
Make it perfect.
I'm not,
Here's mine.
I would kill to have a calendar.
So,
Got the
yeah, so
green
I
and the
would
purple and
suggest
orange.
it's totally free, and and then I could have the link in perpetuity, you know, but you don't use Google Calendar, so that I could maybe just check with you and have the other ones.
Yeah, maybe I'll just have to start using Google Calendar.
Yeah, it'll save your butt. You'll be happy you did it. Okay, so that takes care of the plaque for now. So what we'll just have to do is, one, wait for a response from Scott, two, wait for a response from the committee, and then if he doesn't have that, then I can volunteer to take that on.
Well,
for the pricing.
also, so I am now also working on the museum on Main Street
Oh, geez.
through the library. I'm the library liaison for that. And I know Lisa Mazinski works with the Blackstone National Heritage Corridor, and I bet you they've got somebody who does those types of signs and stuff.
Oh, all right, I can call Lisa.
So that might be, I know she works with them, so that might be
She might have a
a
contact.
contact.
Okay.
They probably have a bigger budget, but we really do need to have some kind of pricing, because I don't want to go in.
And next year, September 26th, 2026 will be the 80th year anniversary of the ball game.
Oh,
Oh, wow. That's good to mention.
maybe we could do a dedication then.
Yeah, that should give us enough time, right? That's a year and a half.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking like that's a date.
Yeah, I like that. Full date.
So something else to kind of keep in mind, and it's gonna kind of tie into other stuff we're dealing with. We should not count on grants or any type of money from National Park Service or
Because of
any
the
type of
government
federal type funding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we don't know where things are.
Yeah, we want them to check on disease management.
But anything like that, we probably want to try and avoid looking that way right now.
Okay.
Local, state, we still probably have avenues, but I would not waste time at the moment looking federal.
Yeah.
Maybe other people have another opinion, but
No, I agree. But the state could be good, because it's Red Sox. I care about that.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's done. So, I guess you should ask it next, right? The threatened properties.
Okay, Did Fred get anywhere with the BFCC?
He went to a meeting, and he has promised me that they did not bring up our threatened properties.
Okay,
So
so nothing
I
has,
had a conflict at the time that it was happening.
so nothing's happened with the BFCC
Yes.
in threatened properties?
But I do have on my calendar the next meeting. Let me just see.
They're usually
Like 11 o'clock or something.
Yeah, they're at 10 a.m.
o'clock on the 19th.
Yes, I think it moved the time from, I have one that says 11, one that says 10, so it must be
On the town calendar is 10.
10, okay. All right, so February 19th.
Yeah, I put that on my, that's the new calendar that I also have on my, my calendars, is I've just added the town calendar.
So I can zoom into that one.
Like I said, I'm more wondering what they're planning as they're
Oh, wait, I
doing,
can't zoom into that.
like I said, what they're planning on doing with stuff like the old highway department. Is they're planning to do stuff with new buildings? What are they planning on doing with old buildings?
Yeah.
Lisa Freeman, I don't know whether it was, one of the problems is I get stuff that comes across my desk, and I don't know if it's historical commission or if it's archive questions. Sometimes it could be
Or it's
both.
master plan, or it's FYI as a resident.
Lisa sent me an email asking which town properties were either historic buildings or in historic districts.
Oh,
Okay.
So, we only have one historic district, that's the old Douglas, has 4 town properties. Well, okay, technically it's like 6 town properties, because cemetery is technically 3 different properties.
Okay.
Town cemetery, I'm gonna make it a 1 lump, and even though it's 3. You have the town common, which does not have any buildings, but it's got the gazebo and it's got the soldiers monument. You've got the brown building, right next to the cemetery, which is vacant, but the shed behind the building is being used for cemetery markers.
yeah.
And then you have the center school / VFW, however you want to call it, which is also currently vacant. Those are the only town buildings that are located in a historic district at this time.
Okay.
And so
She asked.
so properties that are individually listed as a historic property, I don't,
Hayward and Jenks.
yeah, and so neither of those are town-owned.
So I let her know what they were, but
Yeah.
they don't affect the town in any way.
Right.
And Hayward's actually interesting because you've got Hayward Landing, but then you've also got the little building next to it, which is a separate property, which is technically also part,
The one that's a house?
that is technically part of the Hayward historic landmark.
The little brick house, like in front? Mm-hmm. Oh. okay.
22 is actually part of the historic landmark. I did not realize that until I was looking.
Okay.
But, so as far as threatened properties, that was asked of the town. And we do know that from the BFCC walkthrough, that the town does not have a ton of interest in keeping the center school, it seemed like.
Right. Okay, well, I'm going to change this. These both say the 17th, but now it's the 19th. I don't know if that was a typo on my part, or if that was a change of meeting time date. Okay, so then we'll just keep that on the agenda, right? And I'm sure that the March 19th will happen before our next meeting, and we'll see if there's any updates
Yep.
at that point. Okay. All right, so we can move to the historic district, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the architectural narrative, last time Sarah and I still had to do it, right? Me,
And-
Sarah, and Scott. And so 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
So I said, I'll take care of Scott's.
Thank you.
I don't know when I'll get to it,
Yeah.
but I will get to it.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get into that. Okay. Am I blind? Yes, I'm blind. I know I'm blind, but here we go.
All my spam calls.
Okay. Okay, so do we remember what Scott's section was? I think I've got that information at work. I
I
don't
have
have
it
it here.
at home. I don't have it with me.
Okay, who remembers what they did?
I did A through Charles.
I think he was next. Charles through
Yeah.
somewhere in Gilboa.
Okay, so he was Cook through. Just so I know what I'm,
Getting yourself into.
yeah.
I have it right on my desk. if there's
Cook
any
through
questions.
19.
Through 19 Gilboa.
Yeah, so that's what I gotta do. Okay,
So, I'm getting ahead, but I'm just thinking, if we have an idea when that can be done, then that's the last step before we start our working session, right?
yeah, I mean, I can do it relatively
Yeah.
easy. It's more just, give me a timeline, give
Yeah,
me a
you'll need
deadline,
it, yeah.
and I'll do it.
Right.
Don't give me a deadline, and I'll be like, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes one of those, it's on my
Right.
to-do list.
Right. Okay.
So, weird question. We're gonna do the working session. Why do I create work for myself? I would like the record to show I know I do this to myself for when I complain. What the best thing for me to do would be to take and put the historical narrative and the architectural narrative on one sheet per property.
Yeah, then we can decide.
And then we just look, this is 2A Street, this is this, this is this, this is this.
Yes.
Is that the best way for me to do it?
I think it is, because we're basically deciding whether a property fits into the architectural historical significance or the historical, and to see them next to each other would make sense, but we've already put them in separate documents, right? I know it's a cut and paste.
You know me, I can do it pretty quickly, pretty smoothly.
The only thing I'm thinking is, if we're in a working session, it's a lot of printing, but we're probably gonna have to print it off.
So what I'm thinking is, if I do it,
In the spreadsheet?
no, I'm actually thinking if I do it on a landscape with the architectural on one side and the historical on the other, per property,
You want to just color it?
I think just side by side, one side architectural, one side historical,
On a Word doc, Google doc?
on, and then just print them all off, it'll be,
Yeah, that would be,
Would you have to print them all?
maybe we don't
I-
print them off, because we might want to make notes on the living document.
I think we can, I think I do better here.
On paper?
Okay,
I work better here, I read better
yeah.
here. We can always have this with us, and I can be making notes as we're looking at it
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I also think it's a lot easier for 4 people to be looking at this
Yeah.
than for 4 people to be looking at
It
this.
takes a little longer to get like, to type it perfectly than it does to just scribble something on, print it out, because it's going to
Okay.
be, take us a while with 200 and whatever.
Fair.
I also think okay, so it would be me splitting them out. Splitting out. Non-contributing aren't getting done.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
It's-
just list it, right? List the address? No, not even?
I'm not going to bother printing it out. We'll have it in the
Okay.
document, but I'm not going to bother printing it out
Yeah, yeah.
because splitting out, printing, this is going to sound crazy, we need a timer.
Oh, okay. I've got a bunch of old egg timers.
We need a timer and we need to set a time limit per property.
Okay. that's a good
Because
idea.
I can talk. And I have a lot of knowledge on these houses and I can start rambling.
We have, I think, without counting the non-contribute, isn't it something like 200 properties that are contributing?
Yeah, and we all have our phones. Our phones have timers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying but I'm also thinking like if we have a visual timer also that we're like watching it count down.
Yes. So I was just going to do a quick math. So if you had 5 minutes times 200, that's 1,000 minutes. 16 hours.
Right?
Is that right?
That might be a few working sessions, not just one,
Well, I mean, there,
16 hours?
right? Unless you guys want to do an all-nighter.
oh, here's the document I'm looking
We'll
for.
have like the 24-hour
Yeah,
meeting.
right?
Minutes, yeah. All right, so 3 minutes times 200. It's still 10 hours.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like, I do not think this is a single,
Right.
A single long
series.
I think
meeting.
we're going to need a couple of
Every
meetings.
Wednesday morning or whatever we decide on.
this is going to be, I think, unfortunately, a couple of,
Working meetings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we might realize we could do something better the second time around, faster or more
Yeah.
efficient.
Right.
but, I mean, Macris, there are 173 properties, and I think we added another like 20 plus.
Yeah, I have 200 in my head,
Yeah, I thought it was about that.
and then another like 50 non-contributing.
Yeah, there's 250 altogether.
Okay, well, that gives us a ballpark. And some of them will be quick and some of them won't. But if maybe we figure 3 working sessions and they're a few hours, at least the first one, until we get our rhythm.
I'm like I said, I think this is going to be a lot more than we think it's going to be.
And we're going to have to bring duct tape for it starts to,
Well, like I said, I know my negatives.
it's only a negative as a time constraint. Because it is exciting to listen.
It is, I know, it is, right?
To be fair.
Then also, I know we've been wanting to hold off on pictures.
Yeah,
That being said, we're getting into this funky time where some of these properties are going to get,
changed.
some of these properties we're going to lose when all the trees come in.
That's true.
Like, you want to have some greenery, like, you want to hit them I'm thinking north in northeast Maine, you know those couple of houses that have the shrubs in front and the trees?
Northeast Maine.
The second I pull it up, you're going to know exactly.
If we could hit it just right where like the snow
It
has
looks
melted,
beautiful,
but
but
nothing
there's
has
not
like fully
leaves.
bloomed
Yeah.
yet, so that we're
Right now
not
it's
all.
really
Next week.
ugly.
No, just kidding.
Right, yeah, pretty much, right? Maybe like late March,
I don't
April-ish.
know. I think we need another snowstorm. That's when it looks the prettiest.
Yeah, right, I know, either cover up all right now everything's frozen mud, it's like,
Right.
that house that gets completely,
Oh, yes, okay.
it gets completely covered by all the greenery, and you
Yeah.
see none of the actual
Yeah,
house. We don't have many of them, but we have a few of them that just disappear.
right, right. There are some of that.
Yeah.
So like I said, I know we don't want to go like, we don't want to really do the pictures because we want it to be the right season, but there are some we're going to lose if we don't.
Right, maybe we can just
Yeah.
do those particular ones early enough, just in case.
Yeah, that's
you
another
know.
option too. Yeah.
I don't think there are many. I think there were only like 3 or 4 of them, but we were like, "Ooh, this thing's going to get."
Well, the other thing was with doing this working session, 157 Main Street doesn't mean anything, but when you see a picture of it, it does. So how do we, like, that would help us to go through quicker by having a photo reference, so I don't know what our
Okay.
best bet is.
If we could put a Zoom on, we could maybe pull the macros up from her computer and have it like
Yeah.
up there, so we all know what we're looking
Yeah,
at.
that's one option.
We can all sit
hold-
on this side so we can see.
Hold on one sec, let me.
We need like an intern to help us too, like take notes.
Yeah, right.
Do they have those for non-paid stuff?
Do I? Unfortunately, my high school minion is in high school when we're doing these.
Oh,
What high school minion?
One of my pages.
Oh.
She talks about how she wants to be an archivist. Like she jokes that she wants to be me when she grows up, and I'm like,
She can come help us. What's she doing it for a few hours?
Tell her, we'll just take you out of high school for the
Right.
Yes.
couple hours.
get some kind of like a.
Community service hours.
Yes.
Yep.
That would be cool.
okay, so let's see, what do we? So we have some now. They're the 2008. They took quite a few pictures. 2008, we have a ton of pictures.
Who, from where?
Sorry.
Dated.
It's like hitting the, just wanted to be down a little bit here.
So the ones I have pictures of, I can probably easily just throw a little like picture
Thumbnail.
in the corner
Okay.
of the sheet, so we at least, it's not going to be a big one, but I can throw a,
As long as it's enough to remember it, you know? And so,
because I mean, the 2008 were when they were doing the downtown district, and I want to say that's when there were like 415 properties.
yeah,
So it's almost all of the, can we just say how wonderful it is now that I'm online and I can actually? It was so much harder last time when I was not able to access any of this. Let me see here, photograph file, properties. I have 297 photos from 2008, so I'm sure I probably got almost all of.
okay. Okay, that sounds like a plan. And then we can just plan, then we'll know, I don't know, I don't think we want to take all the photos, right? We want to decide if we've either got them there or whittle down our list.
I mean, some probably have changed since 2008.
2008, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, God, what are we looking at now? That's almost 16 years, 15 years, 17 years,
Right?
10 years, 10 years ago, 10 years. So, and I mean, one of the problem with the 2008 photos is a lot of them were done in winter.
Why is that a problem, though?
Well, because we kind of talked about how we didn't want winter photos.
They just don't show as well, I guess, maybe, because there's,
Yeah.
depending on like, if the snow actually looked nice or,
I don't know, that looks.
I mean, that
pleasing to
actually
me.
looks.
It's not horrible.
Decent.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what that house looks like in the spring, you know what I mean? It could be better, could be worse, depending on the property. We have to
Right.
do 2 rounds of winter and the spring and then decide.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Yeah, that doesn't look so.
Oh, yeah, no. What car was that? No. I'm like, yeah, that was a while ago. And my porch is totally different now.
So,
That needs to, and we painted the house a different color
need more
since then.
snow.
So that
like I said, there's
that
gonna,
needs an upgrade.
so like I said, a lot of them, there's gonna be a lot of those questions, but at least.
Oh,
this
did
will
I have a
be-
new roof yet? Wait, let me see that. I don't think I did, because I think we did the new roof in 2019. Nope, I didn't have the new roof yet either. Yeah. So I definitely need a new photo.
But like I said, I mean, that'll at least give us idea of like some of the properties.
Yeah.
Because 2020, nope, there were none. 2022, nope. Like 2008 was the big push that they had done.
Okay, so let's try to
That was the
finish
last.
up because we're
Yep.
already at 1:15. So I think we decided that Becky will do a document with the thumbnail photo, historical narrative, architectural narrative. Do you want someone else to take on the adding Scott's section to the document?
Well, you know what I can do? I can do it while I'm doing it.
Okay,
I'll just,
okay, do it all together.
yeah. I'll be in there, so I'll just,
Okay, and then, like, as far as taking new photos, I don't know, I'm just thinking we still want to do at least one working session
yeah.
to assess.
Like I said, I just when you're driving, like if you're driving through kind of that look and be like, okay, what houses, once it's the middle of summer, are we
Are gonna be-
not going to be
Yeah,
able
yeah,
to
yeah.
see?
Right.
Okay.
Because there aren't, like I said, there aren't many, but I know that one, like I said, right at the corner of Northeast Main and
Yeah.
North, it disappears.
Yeah,
once
it does, it does.
Once it comes into bloom. And we like we're like, it's got a nice porch.
Yeah, I think I know who lives there, I could just be like, hey.
Right?
Okay.
Weird question. Do we want to get the package store before it gets torn down?
I think it would be nice to just to document it, just
Yeah.
like, at least a couple photos of
Yeah.
the exterior, just for,
Yeah.
you know.
Some of the ones we have are probably better, some of the older ones.
That's
The one,
possibly true. Yeah.
I think I sent the 08 one when I sent the
Yeah, that
email.
I feel like is a really good picture of the building.
And actually, it was when it was still Dave, and I feel like it was when it was in better
Condition.
condition.
Yeah.
I felt like you didn't have as much stuff in the windows.
You know, it would be nice if someone were to, I don't know, whenever they demo, I'm like, there must be like some wood in there
Like
or something.
architectural salvage. It would be
Yes.
nice if
Something you can
architectural
put in a
salvage
shadow
could
box?
happen.
No.
Yeah.
You know, like if there's antique door handles or
Or like
hinges
I remember the
or,
floors being kind of cool, but
Yeah.
no. You're like making a face.
I wonder, I mean, I don't know if whoever's demoing it would be open to architectural
I
salvage.
feel like there's carpet in there right now.
I suppose we could.
Carpet,
Oh, is
really?
there? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been in there in years.
I'm trying to
but
remember the last time. I haven't been
The
in there.
the last time I went in there, I feel like
Dave
the
was still owning
the floors were carpet
Interesting.
on that side where the VHS used to be, at least.
Yeah. Dave still owned it last time I was in there.
That was a while ago. We
Jed's been in there
discovered.
maybe a couple of times since, because we used to return our cans there. But then when they stopped doing the can returns, Jed stopped going there because,
Goes somewhere else.
well, it just became an extra stop.
Exactly, yeah.
He's lazy. He's like, I don't want to go extra places.
Yeah, all right. Especially with the, somebody get a watch, a baby toddler.
Right.
What age it was.
By the way, did you see Jen is done at the MHC?
Oh, yes, that's right. There was Jennifer Doherty, who answered a lot of our questions, and she was the one doing the webinars.
Oh.
She sent an email to letting people know that she was moving on.
Oh,
So I don't know what that is going to mean for things, so we'll have to keep an
Yeah.
eye on that.
So far, we've been dealing with the two guys who've been Ben, is that his name? And somebody
Ben
else?
and blanking.
That's okay. So, yeah, so I think we can schedule a session, right? And that will be
Yeah.
our next step. Okay, so everyone get out your Calendly. So it's just us who are scheduling, but I'm thinking April, right? What do people think?
I'm good except for the 11th.
But this is like our 3 or so hour session, so if we, like, do we want to start at like 5 to 8?
Oh, would we be doing a Friday or would we be doing,
I'd have to do it at night, I can't really take 3
Okay.
hours off during the
Yeah,
workday.
I'll be back to doing my greenhouse work, so I'll,
okay, so night's going to be a little bit.
Or a
hard.
Saturday, I don't know how people feel about that.
Night's going to.
I don't know if they allow it. I just know one time we tried to post a cemetery meeting for a time when town hall was closed and they didn't allow it. But
On
I
a
don't know.
Saturday, you mean?
It was a Friday during summer when they were closed on Fridays, and they told us no, so I
I've been
don't
in
know.
here for Saturday meetings. so
Oh,
I'm sure
really?
that you
Okay.
can-
Yeah, all right. Well, as long as it's fine with them, it's fine with me.
And
I
I've
could,
shut the lights off before. the last
actually, you know
meeting.
what? I don't know, because I usually do grower Saturdays.
Okay, I'm just
So I
throwing out
probably couldn't do a
options.
Saturday one, but,
If we're doing a long one, for me, it's got to be a night or a Saturday.
yeah.
But I can start, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 or something if we need to.
Yeah. I mean, I can start 4 o'clock too.
My problem is I work till 5. I've got to grab Colin, so it's more like I need to start later.
Okay.
I would probably need to start later as well, unless it was, I'm available pretty much all day Friday and Saturday, as long as I have notice and can block my work schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's me with Fridays and Saturdays. I've got more flexibility than I do during the weeknights.
Okay.
Maybe we do a Friday?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what my delivery schedule will be, but if we want to plan on a Friday,
And Friday, I mean, I can even do later in the day, if a later in the day on a Friday.
Yeah, that would be okay.
work. Like if we wanted to do like a 2 or something.
I guess so. It's a little early, but I could do
I
it.
mean, unless we try and just do a 2-hour work session, unless we try and do more 2-hour work sessions.
And just have more of them.
Yeah. Would that be better? Because like I said, nights are getting harder for me.
Okay. All right, well, why don't we do a Friday afternoon, and we can do it, not too late. But they're pretty much all open in April at this point for me, so everybody else can yell out what they need to do.
I am gone the 18th through the 27th
Okay.
of April.
I can make the 4th and the 11th work if we're doing it later.
okay,
good.
I could do the 4th or the 11th too.
I could also do that.
All right, let's do the 11th.
What time do we want to start?
Someone else can answer that, because I can
Okay.
move around.
I'm available all day.
Okay.
I'm available after, let's say, 11-ish.
Okay. So, do we want to do like 2 or 3 PM? Obviously not AM.
That works for me.
Sure.
Okay, which
Which one
one?
is that?
Let's do 2.
Okay, all right. All right, I will send an invite,
Okay, and
and
now,
I'll be on the agenda.
And we're going to plan how many hours for that one?
why
Let's
don't
do
we,
2.5, right?
Okay.
I just feel like we're going to go over a little bit, so 2 to 4:30.
do we want to work in here or do we want to work in the community room?
The desk in there is a little bit bigger.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because we're going
Okay,
to want
I don't think they usually, do you want to have a screen, like a,
well, I can,
like a Zoom so you can project what you're showing on your computer, or would you rather just have all the paperwork on the table? Because I definitely think that's the better room if you're doing just paper
Yeah, because we've
copies
got a
on
hole in the middle
table.
of this table.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we can do the paperwork on the table, and I can always
Yeah.
just have the laptop that we've got there that we can reference
Yeah.
if we
Okay.
need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is, we can move the chairs and we
Because you're putting the you're putting the pictures on the paper
Right.
anyway.
Yeah, so the bigger table in there would be probably better
Yeah.
for.
And we can, what we can also do, if we need to, we can move the chairs out of the way and we can walk around the table, like, we can use it as a walking as
Yeah.
opposed to just like sitting in.
Right.
All right, and we still have one more decision we're going to need to make.
Oh, right. We didn't make a decision, did we?
Nope.
Okay. Anybody want to?
Someone looking at me.
All right, well, maybe we take a vote or a silent vote, write it on a piece of paper.
Well, I mean, our options are to give him a 3-month
Leave or to ask
leave.
him to resign.
Or to ask him to resign, so.
It just comes down to whether or not I think it comes down to whether or not we feel like we need another member now
So 3 months puts us out into.
into
The end of May.
We're not meeting, okay, let's put things into a little bit of perspective. We're not meeting again until April 11th. So that's 6 weeks right there. That gives you another 6 weeks after that.
Yeah, so it's really just like 2 meetings at the most,
Right.
Okay.
if you don't, yeah. So,
I think I'm okay with giving him a 3-month leave,
I would
and
say,
reassess.
yeah, or in addition, maybe follow up with him and ask him what is, realistically, does he feel as though after 3 months' work is going to slow down for him? Or is this a discussion
Or maybe
that we'll be
like-
having again?
right, or maybe by, weeks.
Yeah.
Someone can email him one-on-one in
Right.
several
Yeah.
weeks out and just say, is it looking good or not?
Yeah.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think 3 months with reassessing
Yes.
before the 3
Yeah.
months is up, just to be sure he's still on board with coming back
Yeah.
after the 3
The
months.
members have agreed, I'm doing this so we can all be in agreement.
Yeah.
The members have agreed to grant you the 3-month
Yep, we'll make an official vote.
leave of absence. If during this time you feel that your obligations are not going to allow you,
Are not going to.
To resume your duties with the
to
Historical
allow you
Commission?
to resume your duties with the Historical Commission, please contact us
Yeah, so we can,
so we can,
make alternate plans.
so we can make alternate,
Yeah.
Sure, that sounds fine.
Scott, the members are agreed, wow. Scott, the members have agreed to grant you the 3-month leave of absence. If during this time you feel that your obligations are not going to allow you to resume your duties with the Historical Commission, please contact us so that we can make alternate plans.
Yes, or please contact us so we can discuss next steps,
Yeah, that sounds.
maybe. Yeah.
Because that way we're letting him know, don't leave us hanging.
Right.
If you know,
If you know in 6 weeks, let
that,
us know.
Yeah.
it's not going to work, let us know.
Right.
Are we comfortable with that?
That sounds
Yes.
good.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, so does somebody want to make a motion to grant Scott his leave of absence?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to allow Scott Garland to extend, to take a leave of absence until May 31st.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed to grant Scott Garland a leave of absence until May 31st. I will send him the email as we have discussed.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Oh, and then we're adjourning at 10:30, no?
Yep, the Historical Commission adjourns this meeting as of 10:31 on February 28th, 2025. Thank you all for your service.
Thanks.